Coming up tonight on YCN News, Vermont law officials investigate a case in which one person was shot inside the Bennington Police Department station lobby. A bill that would make domestic violence a crime in New Hampshire may aid prosecutors in their pursuit to punish abusers. And a 23-year-old Vermont man suffers internal injuries after falling asleep at the wheel today. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening, and welcome to this Wednesday edition of YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Vermont police and law officials are investigating a case involving the Bennington Police Department in which one person was shot while inside the department station lobby. The shooting happened around 8:30 p.m. Tuesday night in the town's police headquarters. The Bennington Police Station is located at 118 South Street along one of the downtown's main thoroughfares. Intimate details surrounding the shooting are not yet being released to the media, pending the investigation's outcome. It is not known if the one person shot is a civilian or a police officer. The injured person was med-flighted to Albany, New York for medical treatment. Members of the Bennington County State's Attorney Office are working with Vermont State Police and local police to review the circumstances behind the shooting. No one else was injured in the shooting, Vermont State Police Public Information Officer Stephanie DeSaro said in a press release. DeSaro said the injured person's medical status is not available at this time. Meanwhile, New Hampshire authorities continue to seek the cause of the Easter Sunday fire that leveled the former St. Mary Convent in Claremont. With portions of the building removed since Monday, it is easier to see the soot-blackened bricks and the charred wood beams. Cleanup of the property at 16 Central Street continues. Today's wind gusts have blown away the orange safety tape that formerly bound the building and yard's perimeter. A new, larger park and ride facility off Exit 9 on I-91 in Heartland, Vermont will improve how buses enter and leave this set-aside area, even as the work will close this facility into the summer. Construction on the park and ride area will begin Monday, April 28th, and continue through the end of August, the Valley News reports. The state's Agency of Transportation oversees the care of the facility. Its popular use by commuters has resulted in it needing a larger space from which buses can pull in, pick up passengers, and get back on the highway. About 30 more parking spaces will be added to the lot, from 20 to 55, AOT officials say. Along with more room to park and more for Connecticut River Transit buses to maneuver, a new bus shelter will be built, along with better lighting and signage. Bicycle racks also will be added, plus charging stations for electric-powered cars. The project is expected to cost about $328,000. Meanwhile, people who rely on this park and ride facility are being asked to make alternative parking plans until the upgraded and improved area is finished. CRT's General Manager Rebecca Gagnon told the Valley News buses will instead stop at Exit 8 off I-91 in Ascutney and go up to the Exit 9 area via Route 5. Bus customers will be picked up along that route. The plan is for these customers to be able to find another place to park their cars outside of but near the Heartland lot. Exit 11 off I-91 in Wilder also is another option. For more information on the project, go to crtransit.org or call 802-460-7433. A Bradford, New Hampshire state rep says a bill that would make domestic violence a crime in the state may aid prosecutors in their pursuit to punish abusers. Representative and Democrat Jeffrey Hirsch of Bradford supports legislation that a House committee approved on Tuesday, the Concord Monitor reports. The bill is known as Joshua's Law after a domestic violence case that ended in the death of a 9-year-old boy at his father's hands this past summer in Manchester, New Hampshire. It now heads for a vote by the full House later this spring. The aim of the bill is to classify domestic violence as a special circumstance, especially when violent acts between a defendant and victim have gone on repeatedly. Hirsch told the Monitor the bill would give prosecutors more weight to deter repeated attacks against a victim, often a victim well known by the alleged aggressor. Hirsch is a member of the House Criminal Justice and Public Safety Committee, yet Republicans Mark Warden and Steve Valancourt of Manchester and Kyle Tasker of Nottingham say the bill may not be effective in curbing domestic violence. Warden voted against supporting the bill, the only person to vote against the proposal. New Hampshire, notes the Monitor, is one of 15 states in which domestic violence is not considered a crime. When YCN News returns, we'll continue with more news.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. A 23-year-old Vermont man suffered internal injuries after police say he fell asleep while driving westbound on Route 4 shortly before 6 a.m. today. Kylie Ladd of Fairhaven, Vermont, not far from New York state border, was taken to Rutland Regional Medical Center for his injuries. The 2005 blue Ford Escape he was driving near exit 6 in West Rutland when the accident happened is totaled, Vermont State Police report. Ladd was wearing a seatbelt when he apparently dozed off and the SUV crashed into the ledges off the side of the road. The SUV's front end, roof, undercarriage, and driver's side are heavily damaged from the crash, say police. Road conditions were dry, police report, and skies overcast at the time of the crash. On a much lighter note, here's a lineup of several of the winners in this year's third annual Peeps Diorama Contest from Newport, New Hampshire's Library Arts Center. Library Arts Center Director Kate Niboli said more than 70 different dioramas or scenes were entered into this year's contest. There's still time to see the exhibit at the center through this Saturday. Thursday and Friday, the gallery is open from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. For more information, go to libraryartscenter.org. Peeps, they're not just for Easter anymore. When YCN News returns, we'll hear from Kearsarge Chronicles' Lynn Solomon, who spoke with Abby Peel on strategic social media.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Now Matt McDonald will have a look at our weather for the next 5 days, and he'll take a look at some local high school sports.
Thanks, Rose. Tomorrow will be partly cloudy with a high of 56 degrees and lows in the 30s. Friday will have highs in the 60s with a low of 40 degrees. Saturday we're expecting some rain showers with temperatures up to 63 degrees and lows in the upper 30s. Sunday and Monday will have highs in the mid to upper 50s with lows between 34 and 37 degrees. Here's a glimpse of the weather from our northeastern and national radar maps. Now let's see what's coming up on our community calendar. On Friday, the Cornish, New Hampshire Board of Selectmen will meet at 3 p.m. In Vermont, the Next Stage Arts Center in Putney will hold a celebration of Pete Seeger at 7:30 p.m. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com. Let's take a quick look at a local Vermont high school win in boys lacrosse. The winner was Woodstock in yesterday's game against Burr and Burton. Woodstock made 9 points and their opponent made 6 points. There are 2 high school lacrosse games tomorrow that you don't want to miss. The Lebanon High School boys lacrosse team is set to host Kearsarge tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. The Hanover Marauders, the girls lacrosse team, will travel to Winnicott tomorrow to face them at 5:30 p.m.
Thanks, Matt. When YCN News continues, we'll hear from Capital Connections' John O'Connor, who spoke with George Cacavero, chairman of the Claremont Charter Commission.
The YCN News continues in a moment.